riding down the Harland Highway.
All right, hold tight on the Harland Highway Show.
Harland Williams.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Harland Highway podcast. Just before we get going, I want to give a shout out to you and let you know that I am starting my fall stand-up comedy tour, and take a look at some of these dates. I'm going to be going to Nebraska. I'm going to be in Houston, Texas. I'm going to be in Louisiana. I'm going to be in Dallas. I'm going to be up in Reno, Nevada. I'm going to be at some casinos. I mean, where aren't I going to be? So take a look at this list, and if you want tickets and more information to catch me live on stage doing my stand-up comedy thing, go to harlandwilliams.com, harlandwilliams.com, click on the stand-up tour link, and I hope I see you out there, and I'm making you laugh live in person. And with all that said, let's go. Let's have some fun. Let's start the Harland Highway podcast. All right, here we go. Well, now, that's right. Hey, everybody. Welcome, one and all. You're here on the Harland Highway podcast. What a show we have today. And I got my sidekick here, little Coco. He's here. And I'm not wearing the headphones today because he never says anything. He just looks at me like a mentoid from the 45th dimension. And, why put on the headgear if you got a dementoid? First rule of podcasting, dementoid plus headphones equals no headphones. But I hope you don't mind. My face might be shimmering a bit. I moisturized before the show. I don't know why. I rarely moisturize. I rarely Christopher Walken moisturize. But I just thought, you know what? I'm going to slap some moisturizer on my face. And you're all powerless to stop me. I put it on my forehead, under my eyes, on the bridge of my nose. I'm oiled up like a Chinese whale skinner, whatever that means. But speaking of bodies of water, okay, we got to talk about this because another freaking hurricane just ripped through the Caribbean and Cuba and Florida. And have we had it up to here with the hurricanes? I mean, these things are lethal, man. They just come in and they just tear the place up for 3-4 days. And I was gonna sneeze. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's right there. It's right there in the chamber, right in my moisturized nose. Don't you hate that? I'd rather sneeze than get right to the edge and not achieve, if you know what I mean. Isn't that annoying when you get brought right to the very edge, but you can't get it out? If you know what I mean? Not fun, not a good experience. Now I got like a hurricane in my nasal passages. It's just, I feel like there's a nasal cane going on, just churning in my freaking nasal passages now. Did you see that? It was like, I got right there, and then it wouldn't come out. I don't know if it was camera shy. I don't know if it was just being a pain in the arse, but whatevs. But anyways, these hurricanes coming through, Hurricane Ian this time. And by the way, what is with the names? Why are we giving these entities of destruction, these giant, energetic killing machines, the names we give our children, our beloved grandparents, our friends and relatives share these. Now, let me go through a list of some of the wonderful names that these massive machines of destruction have. And I don't know why. I don't know who's giving them to him. How about this? Andrea, Barry, Julia, Josephine, Omar, Paulette, Renee, Franklin, Gert. How'd Gert get in there? That sounds like that's like the Forrest Gump of the hurricanes. Yeah, Arthur, Andrea, Barry, Alex, Bonnie, and Gert. But these are not appropriate names. These names. We can't be giving these machines of destruction little endearing, charming names. I mean, come on. Yeah, these things should be called what they are. Have you seen them? Put one up here. Does that look like a Mary or an Ian or even a Gert? I think we know what that looks like. It looks like a giant asshole. So why are we being so kind to these instruments of death, these weather systems of horror, and giving them charming little names? Oh, everybody in the house, Margaret's coming over. Everybody down into the storm cellar, David's dropping by. No. Let's call these things by what they should be called. How about just assholes, okay? They don't need human names. Even our dogs and cats don't get human names. You ever heard of a dog named Larry or Mary or David or P? No, it's always Fluffy and Snowball and Lasagna. And so how about these gaping, swirling assholes get called assholes? And if you need to add a moniker or whatever the term is, if you need to add something on to personalize them, how about steaming asshole? How about gaping asshole? How about big flaming asshole? How about stupid asshole? How about fucking asshole? I've always liked that name. And look at this one. How about bloody asshole? This one looks like it's got freaking hemorrhoids. How about Hurricane Hemorrhoid over here? I mean, they're just giant assholes floating in the sky. And we got the balls, we got the Gerts to give these cute little Christian names. Mary Louise Jackson or David Geller Smith or whatever. I don't know. No, that ends. Now when a hurricane's coming or an asshole's coming, we get the meteorologists out of the weather center and we bring in proctologists, okay? And we let them do the breakdown of these swirling assholes. No more of this meteorologist, well, we have a high-pressure weather system moving up the coast, and when the cold weather coming in from the north collides with the air particles of the... No. Out. Now what we want are proctologists who specialize in assholes, and I want that guy, and now with the latest update on bloody asshole, here's proctologist Dr. Walter Smith. Well, thank you very much. Now, as you can see, this is a very puffy asshole. It's swollen all around the edges as if someone shoved an eggplant inside of it. Now, this asshole's gonna shit all over planet Earth for about 3 days, and it's gonna stink, it's gonna be messy, and you know what I mean? And come on, gang. These aren't weathers, they're assholes. They act like assholes. Right? You ever have that one guy at your barbecue who gets too drunk and he starts smashing the barbecue over and he's kicking chairs and he falls in the pool and he smashes through your fence and he drives his motorcycle through your wall? Yeah, asshole. Well, that's what these things do. They just come swirling through your yard, tearing it all up like a big fat asshole. And they just destroy your stuff. They take, it's like, hey, bring me back my double wide, asshole. Bring me back my double wide trailer. Keep my wife, but bring me back the trailer at least, you big puffy steaming asshole. So, hearts go out to all you people that had to endure the recent hurricane in Florida. And I feel like this podcast is timeless because even though there was a hurricane last week in Florida, I feel like you could play this podcast anytime and there was a, excuse me, hurricane asshole blowing over Florida. I mean, look at these pictures. Look at these different types of assholes. There's a puckered asshole. There's a squinting asshole. There's a black-eyed asshole that's been hit in the face with a doorknob or something. I mean, come on. So enough with the hurricanes. From here on in, we're all on asshole watch. I don't care if it's a Category 1 asshole. I don't know if it's a Category 2 asshole. And as far as the wind gusts go, I mean, why don't we just look at that like a big Dutch oven coming right out of the freaking asshole? I mean, we've got a Category 5 fart coming down the Gulf Stream. Get in your houses and plug your nose. So anyways, I don't mean to sound all angry, but man, you know, it's just not really fair that these people and these homes and this property is getting all ripped up by these swirling assholes in the sky. But it's enough to make you angry. And do you find, gang like me, that folks are getting angrier easier these days? I don't know if it was the whole COVID thing. I don't know if it's the politics. All I know is people have a shorter fuse than they used to. Don't you find it? You almost feel like they're looking for an excuse to get mad and get angry and start yelling at you, be confrontational. Uvula action. Case in point with the anger. My own neighbor. My own loving neighbor, okay? I'm a peace-loving guy. I'm a friendly guy. We've lived across the street from each other for 17 years. And we both have the typical, you know, living room window, the big bay living room window that looks out onto the street. I can look across and see in their window if I'm being nosy, and they can look across and see in mine at night when the lights are on. And so, living peacefully across from my neighbor for all these years, I didn't see this one coming, and maybe I attribute it to the times we're in, the angry times we're in. But here's what happened. For the first time ever in my life, I don't know if you guys have done this or not, but for the first time in my life, I purchased my very first full head-to-toe moth costume. And I don't know what the wattage is of the light bulbs you have in your living room. I don't know if you're 60-watt people. I don't know if you're 70-watt people. I don't know if you're high rollers and do the whole 100-watt thing. But either way, we're using watts, and I do not know what a watt is. I know the drummer for the Rolling Stones was a Watt, but he's really the only Watt I've ever seen, Charlie Watt. But I have no idea what a watt is. What is that, a measurement of light? Oh, that light's sort of bright there. You know, that's probably, I'd say 62 watt. Like, how do you measure light? And some smart scientist is sitting here go, well, you stupid idiot. The way you measure light is blah, blah, blah. All right, I don't know how to measure light, okay? Do any of you know how to measure light? Yes, some of you probably do. Turn this off right now. You don't deserve to be here with the rest of us stupid people. Turn it off. Hey, you light measurers, turn off this podcast right now. You're too smart for this, idiots. So anyways, my neighbor had, let's just throw a number out there, a 75-watt bulb in his living room, okay? We've got along peacefully for almost 2 decades. Never been a confrontation, never been a fight. He's got a nice family, kids, a dog, a lovely wife. And every night I see him flick on the light and they're in the living room watching TV or the kids are running around, whatever families do. And I was in the mood I felt mothy. I felt like a moth. I felt, sometimes you feel things. You feel like you want to go for a run. You feel like you want to travel. You feel like you want to eat. I was feeling mothy. And if anyone has a problem with that, you know what you can do? You can get a big bucket of Aunt Jemima maple syrup, dump it over your fat head, and go stick your face in an ant nest and let them eat your fucking face right down to the skull. And that may sound a little severe, but, back off a little. I'm trying to tell a story here. Just back off a little. Dial it down, Nacho. Take it down a few pegs, Nacho. I mean, God. I'm telling you, I'm a moth. I bought a moth head to toe. And so it's about 9 o'clock at night. And I'm in my living room trying the thing on. I'm admiring my physique in the mirror. I have a full body mirror. And I'm admiring my physique in my moth costume. The vibrant colors and the fuzziness and the antennae. Oh, the antennae. I almost fell in love with a satellite dish 3 houses down, but no. And so I'm admiring myself in my moth costume, and all of a sudden, the light across the street goes on. My friendly neighbors across the street flicked on their 75 water. And I know I shouldn't have watt anger. That was not appropriate. I shouldn't project my watt anger at you, my wattage anger. And you're probably saying, what anger? And I'm saying, no, watt anger. And I just projected it at you, and not fair. But anyways, let's continue. The light goes on, and my head just snapped. I was like, whoa. It's almost as if a fat person was sitting in a living room and someone yelled, the cookies are ready, and they just the way fat people do. And I saw this light go on, and of course I'm a moth. Hello, I'm a moth. And I'm just sort of immediately transfixed. I'm totally hypnotized practically by this soft yellow glow, this 75-watt General Electric glow spilling through the glass and out into the street, bathing the concrete and the pavement in a beautiful, soft, iridescent yellow glow. And so I did quite naturally what any moth would do. Ladies and gentlemen, I opened my front door and I went out and I got on my front lawn. And naturally, I started to flap my wings and slowly move across the road, down my lawn, across the road. And I did like any normal moth would do. I got right up against their glass window. And I'm flapping and I'm flapping and I'm being a moth. And I'm entitled to be a moth. I'm dressed as a moth and I'm sort of softly pressing up against the window, making these noises. I'm trying to make it a full, beautiful, enhancing experience. So I'm doing the... And of course, after 3 or 4 minutes of this, the children who were playing checkers on the floor looked up and saw me dressed as a full-grown, my eyes are sort of bugging out because to me, light is almost like crack. I mean, you've all seen it, gang. You've all seen moths. You turn on a light outside your house and they come streaming in from Bakersfield and fucking Fresno. Some of them come in from Cleveland. I've heard moths and butterflies fly thousands of miles for things. And that's stupid, but they do. And so these kids look up and they start screaming, and I'm just, I'm not going to talk to them. I'm playing the role of a moth. I'm not going to verbalize a known language. If anything, I did a little moth talk. I said, you know, I was sort of buzzing and humming on the window, on this big 6-foot bay window, and the children are screaming and the dog's barking at me, and there's froth coming out of his mouth. Looked like someone shook a can of cream soda and sprayed it all over an old bag in a wheelchair rolling down the streets of Bakersfield. Right in her fucking eyes, right in her ancient eyes. Her corneas so dusty they started floating across her face and going into eye world. That's what I think. I don't know. And so here I am flapping furiously on the window, and Ned Anderson, who's the guy, my neighbor, I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but I did. He goes running to the closet, pulls out a shotgun, comes running outside, and he's got this thing up against me. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing, Williams?" And I was like, I didn't want to break character. I'm like, you know, I'm flapping, and he's like, "Get the fuck away from my family. Get away from my house. Are you humping my window?" And I'll be honest, you know, there's a warmth to the light. There's a certain warmth to pressing one's flesh or body against a warm pane of glass, and maybe in the flapping motion there was a bit of hip gyration, and you know, there could have been a little bit of moth humping. But you show me in the neighborhood watch association or any neighborhood organization that humping someone's front window is a felony, and I'll see you in court, Johnny L. Cochran. So I'm humping and flat. The kids are screaming, the dog's barking, the wife's now on 911. I hear her yelling into the phone, "Mothra, Mothra," and I could hear the operator going, "What, Godzilla?" She's like, "No, Mothra." And I'm just, now I'm rolling my moth eyes, you know, my big moth eyes, allowing more light in because I got moth eyes. And this guy goes, "Step back, Williams, or I'm going to shoot." And I said, "Hey, you shoot me, bro, and you're going to have moth powder everywhere because I got moth wings, and we all know that moth wings are covered with that silky, beautiful, it's almost like baby powder." And I said, "You take a shot at this, and you're going to be rubbing powder out of your clothes and off your window on the side of your house for like months. So you might want to rethink discharging some buckshot into a 6.5-foot tall moth." Okay? A 200-pound moth is is humping your front window, and you're gonna put some bullets through these velvety wings. And he said, "Back the F off, Williams." And I could see it in his eyes. He had no love for moths that night. And so I'm like, okay. And it's tricky, you know. No one teaches you at school about the aerodynamics of a moth. Okay? Aerodynamics are tricky to begin with. I mean, anything that understands and can initiate flight, from a small hornet to a jumbo jet, from a helicopter to a hummingbird, from a dragonfly to a flying fish. These are all different variants on flight. There's different techniques, there's different propulsion, there's different physics at play. And sometimes maybe you jump in deeper than you thought you were going to. And I was all about how hard can it be to fly like a moth across the street. It wasn't that hard. But did I anticipate having to put my moth wings into reverse and being functional at it and being coordinated at it? No. I did not plan ahead. And when you don't plan ahead, that's when you get into deep trouble. And so now I'm starting to attempt to fly backwards, and I'm stumbling a bit. And now Ned's like, hey, Williams, I get it. You're drunk, you asshole. And I'm like, whoa, guy, let me get off your property. And I make my most valiant attempt. In all sincerity, ladies and gentlemen, one moth to the viewer. I sincerely tried to flap my way backwards off his window and back to my own yard, into my own house, relieving his children and his terrified wife and his dog of all their anxiety and all the horror that filled them up. And as I was slowly making progress, I got halfway down the lawn. And is this my fault, what happened next? Is this my fault? Did I plant a 5-foot-tall sunflower in the garden? No, I don't think I did. I don't remember taking a sunflower seed and planting it in Ned's garden. But maybe Ned did, maybe someone in his family, maybe his demented freak wife with the foam coming down her face. And her eyes so filled with terror, she looks like an owl just sucked a potato out of Dolly Parton's meat blender. I mean, gang. The light is cascading out of the window. It's nighttime. The only other thing lit up on that lawn to accept the light that was being projected was this big golden sunflower. We've all seen how big a sunflower can get. And here's me, a moth, a flower, and sometimes nature's impulses are primal. They can't be stopped. They're chemical, they're primal. They're undeniable. And as I was starting to flap backwards, I just zoned in on a large 4-foot, healthy sunflower that was screaming in the blackness of night to be pollinated. To be pollinated real hard and real deep. Just just power pollinated. And almost without being able to stop myself, I was in abandonment of all my senses, of all my common senses. It's like a pollination fairy took over, and now I'm on that I'm on that sunflower faster than Dolly Parton on the side of a glazed ham at Uncle Larry's Christmas dinner. And I got that thing on my crotch, and I am pollinating this thing like a Vietnamese porn star that just fell out of a box of fucking ripe cabbage down at Donnie's fucking vegetable mart. I'm pollinating this sunflower right in the face, right in the seeds. Because don't forget, a sunflower isn't like the face of a sunflower isn't soft and full of petals. The face of a sunflower is actually the backs of all the sunflower seeds. There's thousands of seeds in the face of a sunflower. And I'm power grinding this thing with my little moth thing, my moth wiener. I'm pounding it in there like Carol Burnett stuffing a Christmas stocking for a child with no eyes. And I'm just power steaming up. I'm pollinating this thing, and I can't stop. And if you think sliding your soft, subtle midnight wiener into a line of seeds embedded in the face of a flower is a comfortable scenario, no. It's much akin to probably sliding your wiener up and down on a cheese grater and making mozzarella, you know what I mean, shaved mozzarella penis cheese. And, God, I need a drink. And so here I am. I'm all over this damn thing. And Ned starts shooting. I go flying off the sunflower. I go flapping down the street. I don't even try to get to my home because now he's shooting. He knows where I live. So now I'm running downtown. I'm running around in neighborhoods. I'm flying down streets. I end up at a 7-Eleven. I buy a bag of flour. I'm snorting it. I mean, it's just so... The point of my story, gang, is I encourage you to be adventurous. I encourage you to follow your creative spirit, your artistic spirit, to try new things and engage in new fantastical experiences, but be careful. It seems like even the most innocent of things come at a grave cost sometimes, and that's all I'm saying. You'd think that being a moth for a night would be carefree and beautiful and as free-spirited as a hippie doing an underwater lily pad fart down at Lake Ungafunga Kokifucky over there in Wilnut County. So, yeah, just a little bit of caution. Be you. Express yourself, but just be aware. Be aware that sometimes other people don't have the same, have the same appreciation of your creative outlets. And it could lead to violence. And it could lead to moth murder. So there you go. And speaking of creativity, my God, where is my, oh my God. Okay, so I got to talk about this creativity because this was amazing to me. So as you know, I'm doing my podcast, and as you know, I do my own T-shirts. You guys have all seen them on the show. I draw my own T-shirts on blank T-shirts with colored Sharpies. I hand draw them, and then I sell them. I have them on my website, harbling.com. And I have all kinds of, I think there's over 100 designs up there now that I've put up of different shirts that I've sold. And now that the originals are sold, you can go in and you can look at a design and get a print made. And one of the most popular prints is I did a design of an image of death. You know, death with the dark cloak and the eyes and the bony hands, and he's always got a scythe. You know, the scythe, which again is a bit of a mystery to me. Like, why does death have a scythe? Like, when he's not busy killing, is he doing like landscaping? Is he cutting grass? I mean, isn't a scythe for cutting? I don't know. But anyways, I have this image of death sitting at the breakfast table and he's eating a spoonful of cereal, and the cereal box is the cereal called Life. There's a brand of cereal called Life cereal. And so I thought it was funny and interesting that Death would be eating Life, that's his favorite cereal, Life. And so I sold the original, but then, like I said, it became a print. And the print has been selling really well. It's one of my most popular designs, which makes me happy because I love that design too. But what happened is something really cool that's never happened to me before. No, this is not another moth story. Somebody reached out. If you go to harbling.com, you can send me emails and ask about the shirts and maybe even request a shirt or blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, a few weeks ago, a gentleman from Australia, the other side of the world, mate. That's the other side of the world. I'm here in America. He's over there in Australia. A bloody Aussie, eh? And I read this email, and it's from a guy named Lukas Kasper. Okay? He's an artist, it turns out, but he's not just any artist. He's an Australian artist who does giant murals on buildings and walls and flat surfaces with spray paint. He's a very, very talented and creative and imaginative mural artist. And Lukas Kasper sent me an email. He said, "Hey, Mr. Williams, you've been an inspiration to me, and I enjoy your work and all this stuff. Wonderful compliments, and thank you so much for that." He said, "I would be honored if I could do a mural of your Death eating Life cereal or Death's favorite cereal print." And he said, what I would do is I'd love to do a giant mural on a wall and mix it with my own stylings. And together we sort of inadvertently, even though we're on opposite sides of the world, I create this piece of art that kind of combines both of our styles and both of our imagery and all this and that. And I don't think he was expecting me to respond, and I don't know that he's expecting me to respond positively, but I was like, sure, why not? I was like, what an honor. I went on this guy's website. It's lukaskasper.com, Lukas Kasper with a K, lukaskasper.com out of Australia. And man, oh man, I realized right away this guy's got talent. Like, he's not just some weird kid like, hey man, can I do it? No, he was like, this guy sort of almost does it for a living or something, or I don't know, but he's very progressive with it and has some beautiful mural images on his website. And I said, yeah, man, go for it. Let's do it. And so I expected, 3 or 4 months from now, I'd be like, oh yeah, mate, I'm out here. I finally found a wall, and I'm just getting started. I should be ready next year. But instead, this guy called me, he didn't call me, he emailed me back. I said, yeah, go for it. He goes, oh, I'm so excited. And 3 days later, he texts me back. He goes, yeah, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I'm like, holy smokes. So this guy, I think he likes to be called Kasper, his last name. So we'll call him Kasper. He just went out and he did this thing. And what's really cool, and I'm going to show it to you guys, he shot a video of the whole process. It's a short video. I think it's about maybe 3-4 minutes long. But it's really worth it to watch it, because just to watch him go from nothing, and then literally in the video you can see him looking at my image of Death Eating Life on his cell phone, which is not very big, and he captured it, I'd say, almost perfectly. And so he did my image, and then he added elements of his own stuff, and it really came out beautiful. And I want you to take a look at the video that he shot right here of Death Eating Life, a mural by Lukas Kasper from Australia. Have a look.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Kasper again. I got a fun piece today. This is going to be a collab piece, and it's going to be with a dude who I've looked up to for quite a long time now, HARLAND Williams. Recently he started up this thing called HARLAND, where he draws on t-shirts with Sharpies. I thought it'd be cool to do a collab. He was keen as. I'm about to go into a laneway here in Melbourne and paint a piece.
Next stop is Bourke Street Mall.
I mean, wow. Wasn't that wild? I mean, first of all, I'm very honored. I'm very touched. I'm very grateful that he did such a good job, that he was very true to my art. I mean, that's really, you're giving up a lot when you tell another artist they can do your art, and in the back of your head you're like, well, will they do it justice? Will they replicate it well? Will it look butchered? Will it look off? But man, Lukas Kasper, he really just nailed it. And then all the little touches he did around the sides and this and that, fantastic. So Lukas suggested we put it on a t-shirt because the shirt's already really popular. And then now with this mural, I mean, it's amazing. So here's what I want to do, and Lukas doesn't know about this, but what I want to do is I'm going to put the image of the mural on a t-shirt. We're going to put it up at harbling.com. And as you can see, Lukas is a young man. He's younger than me. I'm only 22, but no, he's a lot younger than me. And I don't really know if Lukas does this for a living or if he's a street artist or if he makes good money at it. But regardless of his financial situation, what he did was a lot of work. It was a beautiful gesture. And so what I want to do is for the first 6 months of this shirt being on sale, I want all the proceeds to go to Lukas, to help him finance his future murals, to help him pay for his art supplies, just to get him some meals, a roof over his head. Who knows? He could be a trust fund baby for all I know. He could be loaded. I don't know. But regardless, I want to support what he's doing and say thank you. And so for the first 6 months, anyone who orders a print of the Death Eating Life Kasper HARLAND mural t-shirt, I will accumulate all those purchases, and I will get a payment over to Lukas Kasper. I will tally it all up. I'm a good little accountant. And I will make sure he gets that for the first 6 months, starting once the shirt goes up in the store, which by the time you see this, it will be up. So if you want to support our friend on the other side of the bloody world, if you want to support our Aussie friends, especially the autistic ones, then go in and get yourself a Death Eating Life wall mural t-shirt print. And I think that'll be a cool thing. And then I also want to say, God, more thanks. I don't know if the Australians love me or what the hell's going on over there, Wally. But another Australian lad, and I won't say his full name because I don't know if he wants me to, but my guy Brady, when I started doing the Harland Highway just a few months ago, I was new at it. I was learning it. I'm still learning it. I'm still doing most of this stuff all by myself. I'm building up to making it bigger and better all the time. But this wonderful guy, Brady, another artist, a graphic artist, he reached out to me via my Instagram. And if you go on my YouTube page, every episode, there's these little titles that show a picture of me and show a picture of my guest. Don't worry, little Coco, you'll be on there. And it tells you what episode it is, and there's these kind of big, bright placards that let you know right away who's on these are the thumbnails for the Harland Highway podcast on YouTube. And out of the goodness of his own heart, donating his own time, his own effort, he just said, hey, man, do you want me to make these thumbnail cards for you for each episode? And I was like, wait, what? I've never met the guy. I don't know who he is. And I just said, yeah, give it a crack. Let's see what you can do. And man, he's been rocking it. I mean, if you look at the YouTube channel, he's done all these beautiful thumbnail cards for me. And, I hope there's a way that when this podcast finally maybe starts to make a little money, I can share some of that with him too, the way I'm trying to share it with Lukas Kasper. So a huge thank you to Brady. Great job, man. Can't thank you enough. They look great. And Lukas, thank you for the mural in Australia. What's up? Let's go. I love Australia. I've been there, I think, 3 or 4 times. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for helping out. It's so generous and kind, and it means a lot when I'm juggling all the other aspects of this podcast and then bringing it to you guys. And by the way, hello, how about a huge thank you to you folk? Yeah, I'm pointing to all of you. You've all been so great. Thank you for subscribing to the show. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for all your comments. If you're spreading the word about the Harland Highway, thank you for that. I mean, we just want to build this thing up, and it's going in the right direction thanks to you guys. I think I started this like 3, maybe 4 months ago, and we started at 2,000 subscribers. And now, like 4 months later, we're up to 20,000. And the episode numbers are going up, and people are watching, and they're enjoying it. And I'm getting more and more great guests. I got some really cool guests lined up for future episodes. But I'm doing it for you guys. And so I can't say thank you enough for jumping on board, being here. And thank you for all your comments, too. So there you go. A lot of jibber-jabbering and all that stuff. Before I go, though, I will tell you that, and we'll close out on this, but I want to share with you my experience at Burning Man this year. I go to the Burning Man Festival when I can every year, if I'm available to do so. And it was another really cool year, and I'll tell you about a couple of the highlights. As you know or may not know, at night, Burning Man just lights up. We're in the middle of the desert. It's an event that's a mile wide. It's 70,000 people. You'd think it would be clustered, but it's not. It's in this huge desert, and people are walking and riding all over, and they're lit up with lights, LED lights, and their bicycles are covered in lights. And one of the sculptures I went to, they have a lot of art sculptures. It's very artistic. And one of the sculptures I went to was this giant, towering, 60-foot tall thing with flowers all over it. No, I didn't go moth on it. But it was nighttime, and stemming from this tower were these cables, and there were these handlebars all around the circumference of this beautiful, flowery-looking tower. And what would happen is you grab onto these handlebars, us humans, and everyone grabbing them just kind of holds onto them. And I guess the concept is that this machine or whatever it was, it reads the energy that's coursing through your body and through your mind, and it transcribes that energy and turns it into light and music. And you know what? I'll put a video of that up too, because it was just beautiful. And so you stood there for about 4 or 5 minutes. This thing sort of absorbed everybody's energy. And then once it kind of filled up on what it was being fed, the stimuli, all of a sudden the lights and the music and it all sort of synchronized and played out according to what it had been fed from us humans. And whether that was all malarkey or not, I don't know. But regardless, the end result was just mind-boggling. It was like watching a spaceship landing on Earth. It was just, I just stood there like stunned, like a moth on a window. I really was like I'm surprised every moth on planet Earth didn't fly into this thing. I'll put the video up and you can see it. And then the second art piece that I really loved, as I said, we'd go out at night and ride our bikes. And there was one place kind of way out on this dry desert bed you could ride your bike to. And some artist had planted these tufts of grass. You know, they look like big tufts of grass about knee-high, maybe thigh-high. And he'd planted about 200 of these just in the middle of the desert sand. But they weren't blades of grass, they were fiber optics. And I'll put a picture up of it, and they were just these optic fibers, and so light was coming up through them. So they were like illuminated blades of grass, and then within this collection of tufts of lighted grass, which was constantly changing color, he hid all these cool little speakers and played this very ethereal music. And it was just so fascinating and mesmerizing, like being on another planet. And then for some reason, right in the middle of it, he had an old-fashioned phone booth, and you could go in and pick it up, and someone would start talking to you, like from who knows where. And they asked you to press different buttons on the phone. It was so clever and unique, and that's really the spirit of Burning Man. It offers so much of these kind of beautiful, artistic showpieces, and you know, we just wandered around in this kind of illuminated grass for I don't know how long, but it was just the weird music going and just fantastic. So there you go. That's a little bit of my Burning Man experience, and I think we'll end on that. That's a real nice one. But also check out my tour dates for my stand-up comedy as we get into the fall. I'm going on the road again. You can find all my stand-up tour dates at HARLANDWilliams.com. and you can find out if I'm going to be in a town or city near you. Now that's right. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, go to harbling.com and see if there's a shirt there that you like. Might be some brand new originals up, but if not, take a look at the prints and definitely check out the Death Eating Life Lukas Kasper print t-shirt. And also, again, another shout out to Brady. Thank you for the thumbnail sketches. Amazing. And I think that's it, gang. I got to go get my moth suit on, and you know what I got to do. There's a field of daisies about 5 miles from here, and those little whores are calling my name. Let's just say Daddy's going to be doing a bouquet tonight. So that's it. That's it for today's episode. Catch us on the next one. As I said, we got some great guests coming up, some funny comedians, great people. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Let's keep it going. And that's it. Until next time, be safe, stay pollinated, and until next time, chicken chow mein, baby.